I always find it interesting when someone new comes along to a brand because you bring fresh perspective, a different approach. And Mark, you've now been, what, 2 months with Silversea?
Yes, I started with Silversea on July the 23rd. It's been a lot of fun. We've had a few issues with email, so for your viewers that have been trying to contact me, our apologies. But I think it's resolved. I think I'm 11 days now with consistent, reliable email, so I'm happy about that. I'm actually feeling like I'm getting some traction, so it's all good.
They get to meet you virtually right
exactly.
now anyway.
So this is what I look like, yeah.
So tell us about your take on Silversea.
Silversea is a phenomenal brand. It's the world's largest luxury brand, and it's unique because it's really two brands in one. Silversea has a classic fleet made up of 5 ships that carry 300 to 600 passengers, but we also have what we call our expedition fleet, and the expedition fleet is 50 staterooms or 50 suites to about 150, so roughly 100 to 250 guests. And these ships are able to travel to the most remote, the most spectacular destinations around the world. So it's really two brands in one, and it allows Silversea to travel to more destinations than any other cruise line in the world, over 965 worldwide.
I still find that so hard to believe. 965 destinations around the world.
Yeah, and growing, and growing. Because today we announced Cuba.
That's right.
So Cuba is the newest destination for Silversea. Starting February 14th, ships will be sailing to Cuba in the Caribbean. We'll be calling in 3 ports of call. So of course, Havana, Cienfuegos, and Santiago de Cuba. And so these itineraries will be going from Fort Lauderdale to San Juan, Fort Lauderdale to Cozumel. So a variety of different itineraries, 5 in all, starting in 2019. But we're excited because it's starting next year. We're not announcing this for 2021. This is starting almost immediately. So for Canadian agents and for Canadian guests who have been traveling to Cuba for a long time, Cuba's not really all that new, but for American clientele, it's of course huge news.
So talk to me a little bit about the experience of being on a Silversea ship, because when I look at these images that are on the brochures, I mean, they're so aspirational, they're so evocative of an experience. And what is that experience that the client sells, or that the agent, I should say, sells?
That's very true. The images that you're looking at, and actually all of the images that you find in Silversea's brochures, are photographed by a very famous photographer by the name of Steve McCurry. And I know that all of the viewers that are watching today know Steve McCurry's work. There's one particular photograph that he took that everybody will instantaneously recognize, and that's the one of the famous Afghan girl with the piercing green eyes that was on the cover of National Geographic in June of 1985. And so Steve McCurry has been traveling the world. He's been sailing on Silversea for over 10 years. And of course, we sail to some of the most iconic and remote destinations around the planet. And the real message of Silversea is, come discover the authentic beauty of the world. The areas of the world that haven't been commercialized yet, that aren't overrun with tourists, small little outposts in the northern coast of Scotland, like the island of St. Kilda, or Scomer Island off the coast of Wales. Silversea sails to so many phenomenal destinations, so many unique places that quite honestly nobody else goes to. So in 2020, we've released our 2020 itineraries. We don't have a brochure yet, but we do have the 2020 itineraries available online. We have one sailing that's going to be going out next in that year from Reykjavik, Iceland, all the way up the coast of Greenland, up through the Canadian High Arctic, and then the final destination, the port of disembarkation, will be Churchill, Manitoba.
Nice.
So who knew Churchill, Manitoba was, this incredible place? But for a lot of people, especially Europeans, it is very exotic. It's the polar bear capital of the world, and we've had a lot of demand for that itinerary.
Talk to me a little bit about the penetration in Canada. Are agents selling Silversea? And for those who aren't, how do they get on board?
That's a great question, Nina. A lot of the bigger accounts that know Silversea and are familiar with the brand sell a lot of it because we go everywhere. So, you're never repeating itineraries. There's always somewhere new to go. So
right, that makes a lot of sense.
If you've got a bucket list, Silversea will fill your bucket list. Agents that aren't selling Silversea typically aren't familiar with the brand, but we've got a lot of different promotions available to agents to incentivize them to sell Silversea. So one is the fact that our current exchange rate is 1.13, not 1.31. It's 1.31 at the bank. Silversea's current exchange rate is 1.13. Now that will be going up, I believe, to 1.81 shortly, but I believe it currently is still at 1.13. And we have this phenomenal promotion where we offer 20% commission to agents selling up to 52 different departures in Asia, in the Caribbean. And some of these are very, very close in. So you're looking at January, February, March, and April of 2019. So key dates in the Caribbean, and we offer agents the opportunity to earn 20% commission on those.
Now, Mark, tell me, the agent earns 20% commission on the entire package, of course, because it's all inclusive, right?
Silversea is an all-inclusive product.
Exactly. Yeah. So if they compare selling another brand where the drinks package, for instance, will be bought perhaps on board, and the client has to buy all of these other things, the excursions, does the bottom line come close to what a Silversea package is?
Silversea comes in on its face will come in higher.
Right.
Because it's a luxury brand, it's a 5-star brand. So if you were to compare Silversea to like a celebrity or a princess or Holland America, it will come in more, and it should come in more because it's an all-inclusive product.
Right.
But when you factor in all of the things that Silversea includes, like the air, right? We include air with almost every departure, the beverages, Wi-Fi, gratuities. And then you factor in all of the additional costs into the bottom line pricing. Silversea is still a little bit more, but it's marginally so. I think we've got rate sheets online on our website that shows you that Silversea comes in roughly $180 to $200 Canadian per person more than a premium brand.
So now, 2 months in, tell me what your plans are for the Canadian market. You're going to be on the road, you're going to be meeting the agents. How are you going to get out there?
Well, it's been a real whirlwind since Labor Day, just going out, seeing accounts. I've been mainly in Toronto, a lot of visits out to the East Coast, Montreal. And that's mainly because at this time of year, that's when the ships, the Silversea ships are in port. So I've been doing a lot of imports in Montreal, Quebec City, Halifax and St. John's. So Silver Wind, Silver Spirit. I've been in those ports, and a lot of agents, I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of them and a lot of their clients over the course of the last 4 or 5 weeks. The ship visits will wind down at the end of October, and so November I've got a number of consumer events happening, trade shows, but I invite anybody to reach out to me. Email address, because now it's working, right, is markiand, so MARKIAND @silversea.com. And so reach out to me there. I'd be more than happy to help you grow your business and teach you about the brand and some of the very, very exciting things that are happening with Silversea moving forward.
The agents that were on the ships, what were their reactions?
They loved it. I mean, it's a great opportunity to see the product. We were seeing Silver Spirit, which was musified. So a lot of people that are not familiar with Silver Spirit, it was a smaller ship, and what we did was we cut it in half like a wedding cake, and we split it. We separated it apart, and then we moved in a 49-foot section, 15 meters, with additional restaurants and swimming pools and beautiful luxury suites, and then we closed it off, welded it all together, and now she's like the Muse, which is the flagship of the fleet. She carries 608 passengers. That's the largest ship in the fleet. Silversea doesn't have any ship that carries more than 608. So we go from 100 to 600 roughly. So smaller, more intimate vessels that are able to really go everywhere and anywhere around the world.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in. And,
okay, thanks for having me,
congratulations.
Nina. Yeah, thanks. I love my first time on Cruise Factor. Bye, everybody.